Hello there ladies and gentlemen, Porkchopper here, back again with another Paragon in-depth hero guide. Today we are taking a look at another melee hero, one I did a deck build for only a week or so back, which will be in the description down below. His name is Feng or Feng Meow, depending how you want to say it. He is a Fury and Order melee bruiser type hero, being capable of bursting down opponent in a blink of an eye, while still being able to take a punch or two if you build him right. He can play in the jungle and offlane role, though he does suit the offlane more in my experience. Today we're going to do a quick glance at his abilities, then how to play him and combo his abilities together to get the best out of his extremely satisfying kit, finally lean it off with a few examples and my final verdict. His first ability is Conversion Shield, a pretty simple one. When activated you will have a shield for 2.5 seconds. The health of the shield depends on the level. Now with shields working with the amount of armor you have makes this even more useful. At level 4 this is a whole 425 shield, which is basically an extra 425 health for 2.5 seconds. During fights using this could soak up a considerable amount of damage. The only thing I would note here is that it takes a short time to activate, it's not instant, so say if you're hitting away then use this ability, you can't keep hitting instantly again. It can mess up your groove, especially while trying to farm. Use in between basic attacks, not while using one. His next ability is Reaping Dash. Feng teleports himself forward from 700 to 925 units depending on the upgrade level. All enemies he dashes through will take a small amount of damage, and his next base attack after using Reaping Dash will have a bonus percentage of damage. He has 4 seconds to use that bonus shot. If he misses, the bonus shot will still be there until we hit something or the timer runs out. The timer itself can be seen just above the health bar, and his weapon will glow. At level 1 the extra 35% isn't too much, but let's take a late game scenario where you can build a good amount of damage and are dealing 200 basic attack damage normally. If you use Reaping Dash and it's upgraded to level 4, your next basic attack will do an extra 140% damage. So instead of 200, that attack will deal 480 basic damage, which is just the beginning of his crazy damage burst potential. You can use this ability to escape or jump to better positions, like up to the gold tuff, but you may have to jump before using this ability to get enough height. His final ability is Hamstring. It's an AoE ability with around a 400 to 500 unit radius. It deals ability damage and gives a slow for 2 seconds. This is great to lock heroes down who are escaping or about to escape from you. Also during team fights, grabbing 3 to 4 enemies with this ability can be massive to help your team engage in a fight. The damage is pretty decent, nothing amazing, but with the added slow it's deadly. The only worry I have here is the long cooldown it has. Something to consider, so don't spam it at any time given, you may just need it later. And then we have his ultimate Earth Shatter. Feng slams his blade into the ground and deals damage to all enemies hit by it. Now this ultimate will take a short time to get used to with the range and how accurate you have to be with it. When you're aiming the ultimate you see this blue line. That's the actual line it is. It's not longer or shorter. I have tested this multiple times and it does represent the full line of the ultimate, so make sure they are within the blue line to kill them. If they're not, you're gonna miss it. So now that's all out the way, let's take a deep look at how to play Feng. He can be played in the jungle, but you mostly see him in the offlane role. For the jungle you would upgrade Hamstring first to help you farm those jungle camps early on, but because of its long cooldown you will only be able to use it once per camp, so farming may take a little longer with him. Then upgrade both the shield and Reaping Dash. For offlane I would start mostly with the shield depending on the safe lane duo. If they will be more aggressive, say the typical Phase and Revenant combo, then it would be best too. You won't need to use Reaping Dash until your jungler helps with ganks and the Hamstring once minions are under the tower, which by then you would be level 2 to upgrade Hamstring. For the rest of the game I always upgrade Hamstring when I can, as it's his most important ability. Then I would be the shield and then Reaping Dash, saying that all his abilities are worth upgrading as all of them scale rather well into the late game. So there's really no wrong answer here. Now with how to play Feng, it's all about jumping on a target and making them regret even getting within 2000 units of you. So how do you do that? Well, first you have your Reaping Dash. This is your main engagement tool, but only use it if you need it. If you can get within basic range without using it, then do so. Even sometimes if the circumstances rise, use your Hamstring to slow the enemy down to catch them up to save your Reaping Dash. I would only do this however if I know I'm going to need to get out quick and fast. Reaping Dash only has a 10-second cooldown at all levels, so the more you play Feng, the more you will naturally know when your Reaping Dash is back online. If you need to use your Reaping Dash to get near an enemy, do so. Then with the bonus basic attack damage, hit them with 1 before using any other ability. So simple enough, you dash in if you need to and then use 1 basic attack. Once here, you only have a second or so to really consider if it's worth bursting down the enemy hero or not. If they have an escape like a Seraph Grid and any really other speed boost in the game, you have to think if they are near safety from a tower or their team, and if your team will back them up. There's no point using your handstream and ultimate to slow them down and get them low if your team won't capitalise on it. But if they aren't near safety, go in with the hamstring first to slow them down and then pile on the basic damage. Use your shield if needed to neglect any damage and keep at it. Then you have to consider your ultimate Earth Shatter. If they are low enough but just out of basic range, use the ultimate to finish the kill up. By now your Reaping Dash should be back online also, so you can even use this to dash up to catch them up and get the final blow, whatever works for you and in that scenario. But that's mostly just on 1v1 scenarios. Feng is a pretty good 1v1 hero if you build more damage and he can get right in your face and deal a lot of it quickly. So now let's look at a few examples. First up we have quite an unfortunate one. I did exactly as a Feng should do here. I went behind the enemy lines and used my hamstring on 4 of the enemies. I get blinded but live long enough to use my ult off. Our team didn't really have any initiators, so I had to do it for the team. But for some reason they didn't follow up here. Well, this clip shows here that Feng can really initiate too, even though he's not the perfect hero for it, if your team is willing to engage with you. The next is me coming from the off lane position, seeing the Narbash overextending, I want to gank that lane. I start to head on over and I see the Twin Blast in trouble too. I dash in and slow both of them down, making sure we as a team can secure these kills. I then ult on the Narbash and Yin once the Twin Blast was dead. The Narbash dies and the Yin is very low. I use my dash again to push on and after with the extra damage kill the Yin and then the Chimera. A quad for me but more of a team quad with great teamwork and shows how devastating and quick a Feng can change a whole fight. The last clip I want to talk about is this one here. The enemy team have started this fight off really well, tethering our team, then using the containment fence and Harry's ultimate to go off, dealing a lot of damage to my team and splitting us up. I dropped down trying to save my phase but I couldn't with so many there. I turn around but my team still want to engage and I wasn't going to leave them behind, that's not how you play. I jump in and ult 3 of them for the damage and then slow a good 4. And continue to press my attack, now using my shield to absorb as much damage as possible now they know I'm here. We keep pressing them on and a very late Gideon goes in to use his ult and we push on them. The great thing about Feng is he's very hard to escape from and we lock down 2 more kills. A great turnaround for the game which we went on to win. So there are 2 kind of ways you can build Feng, as a more bruiser type of hero which has more health and armor to stay alive but still does enough damage to make your abilities viable. You can't really build full tank on him. The other is more on a full damage build, having a lot of damage, attack speed and being a true fighter, jumping in fights, dealing the damage needed for your team or split pushing the lanes really well. Some cards I would recommend in him are Thunder Cleaver if you're going for more of a split pusher, Rust Breaker, Emporian Mask, Armorvore for 6 mana per basic attack, and Ash of the Wit as comboed with his hamstring ability can be quite effective with an even bigger slow. So overall Feng is a fantastic melee hero which is quite underappreciated in the current meta, with less focus on a frontline engager that more jungle heroes take, but more of a bruiser offlaner that can deal that damage and stay alive in fights so you can get the best of both worlds. Check out my deck build for him I only did a week ago again if you want to know how to build him, and it'll be on screen right now. But thank you very much for checking out this guide. Let me know what kind of guides you want me to do next down in the comments below and I'll see you all next time.